Imagine you wake up in a hospital bed next to a random man who you do not know, but he is dependent on living based off your body. You do not know this man. You don't know how long this process is going to take. All you know is that you did not consent to this and that your body could be affected in the long run because of this man's life. Are you obligated to sit there and make sure that he survives? Or do you have the right to your own bodily autonomy to leave whenever you want and that his life is not your responsibility? Hi, I'm Madison Martin, and I'm going to explain how Judith Jarvis Thompson's defense on abortion with statistics from other two sources defend abortion. I will explain how Thompson and two other sources argue that although the fetus has a right to life and has some moral value, their moral value does not outweigh the moral value of the woman who's carrying. Thompson argues that abortion is sometimes looked at as murder, but when the woman's life is threatened by the pregnancy, it is looked at as like they're letting the woman die. Thompson argues that this is self-defense. Abortion and terminating the pregnancy in this case would be self-defense because it is threatening the mother's life. The fetus therefore cannot live without a mother, and the fetus can only survive if the mother is healthy in her body. So otherwise, the fetus would die anyways. If women have another argument is that if women have the working bodily autonomy to keep a fetus alive, is she obligated to? Thompson argues that if we have two kidneys, are we obligated to give one up to someone who doesn't have a working kidney? We can technically live without one or with just one, but it is our body at the end of the day. We have the choice to organ donate or not. We are not obligated whether we have perfectly working bodily autonomy or not. Therefore, women have more of a right over their bodily autonomy than a fetus does to live. It is also argued that abortion is not permissible by a third party. This could be tricky because a third party should not have an opinion on an abortion, since that is no one's business. But when it comes to a medical third party and how they are, how abortions are performed, it is very important that abortions are performed safely by a professional rather than unsafely by the woman carrying, because that could result in more death. And this goes into my primary source that says criminalizing abortion is not only going to stop all abortions, it's only going to stop safe abortions. Women just want a right to their own body. They're not going to just stop just because someone told them to. They're going to get what they want, but in a very unsafe way that could be life-threatening to their life. Thompson also uses the analogy of people seeds. Let's say you're in a room and you want some fresh air, so you open your window. Knowing when you open your window, there is a chance that people seeds could fly into your room and babies could grow, and that is your responsibility to raise them after they grow in your house. You do have access to a screen that is going to prevent people seeds from coming in, but not 100% effectively. Is it your responsibility, if with or without a screen, that if people seeds come in, you have to raise them? This analogy is understandable, but only in a perfect life. In reality, not everyone has access to contraceptives such as birth control and condoms and IUDs and all of that, because it's not as accessible and not affordable. And with the criminalization and no access to abortion, this is just going to restrict the access to contraceptives more. Also, not everyone has the education of sex. Sex education is a right, very privileged thing not everyone gets because it's an uncomfortable topic. So if you don't not having that conversation with your parents or family or school or anyone, like, it's not really known. My other primary source also mentions that not only women carrying are affected, but also doctors. This also ties in with the third party and contraceptives argument. Doctors are determined to help their patients in the safest and beneficial way for them personally, but without the access to contraceptives or the right to perform abortions safely, they cannot care for their patients in the safest and most beneficial way. Abortion could be necessary under some circumstances, such as some medications and contraceptives could also be necessary under some circumstances. Birth control is great for patients that are diagnosed with endometriosis or PCOS, but it also could be harmful to some too, since there are bad side effects. So not only do some people not have access to them, it also could be harmful towards them. Just like abortions could be beneficial towards some, depending on how the pregnancy is going. Again, in this case, the pregnancy is taking a toll on the woman's life and she could potentially die. So then Thompson argues that she has the right to terminate the pregnancy. My primary source shows that I can't make it full screen or else it won't load. But my primary source shows some abortion statistics of people's opinions throughout the years between 2018 and 2022. 35% of people in May of 2022 said, yes, we should overturn Roe v. Wade, which is the law of the right to abortion. 58% of people said no, not to overturn Roe v. Wade. Over the years, the percentage of people saying yes, overturn has gone up, and the percentage of people saying no, do not overturn has gone down. Another statistic is if abortion should be legal under some circumstances, all circumstances, or illegal in all. In 2022, 35% of people said abortion should be legal under any circumstance. In May 2022, 50% of people said abortion should only be legal under certain circumstances. And in May 2022, 13% of people said it should be illegal under all circumstances. So between May of 2020 and May 2022, the percentage of people in all aspects has gone up, besides the illegal in all circumstances that has gone down. In conclusion, Judith Jarvis Thompson argues that although fetuses may have a right to life, their moral value does not outweigh the woman who is carrying its moral value. So now I ask you, put yourself in a position, as I did in the analogy in the intro. If you were hooked up to a man who is dependent on your life, but it is affecting your bodily autonomy, just because you have a working body to save this man's life, are you obligated to risk that just to save him? Or do you have a right over your own body to say no? Thank you.